Hello, everyone. Welcome back to episode number 81. Here we are at the round table. It's more like a horizontal line of squares, but it will do. Welcome, everyone who's in the chat and joining us. We have a great round table ahead of everyone. We have some very special guests. Yeah, I think we're going to have some fun conversations. So let's go ahead and introduce the panelists. First up, we have the man himself, the one and only Stephen C. Stephen, how are you doing tonight, my friend?
I swear I thought you were going to say Logan. I feel slighted.
I was hoping
hey,
you would, honestly.
it's Will breaking hearts with every introduction. Unless the next one is the even better man of the hour, Logan, then I'll be really bad. How's it going, you guys? Thanks for letting me back on. I like terrorizing your show and bringing you off topic every time I can. So thank you very much. I like to be on here.
Great. I'm glad that's why we bring you on, is those tangents. But I was really disappointed because I was hoping that you would kind of announce yourself in your famous announcement voice.
You mean 40s voice? I saved that for later.
Okay. There it snuck out a little bit.
It was more British.
Yeah.
You can hear his voice in there.
Oh, and then two very special guests of ours tonight, coming at us from PixarPost.com or at the Pixar Post, Julie and TJ. How are the two of you tonight?
Fantastic.
Excellent.
So excited to have you on. Is this a second or third time we've had you?
It's my second.
Yeah, it's her second. I think it's my third. But I think one time I was only audio.
Oh, okay. I think you're right. Wow, that seems like a long time ago. Wow. Yeah. But we're so excited to have you back on, especially given the new format of the show. I think we're going to have a lot of fun. Before we get things started, who are you and where do you come from? And do you want to just tell everyone about your stuff?
Sure. Well, we are Pixar Post. We report on all the Pixar news at anything from Inside Out all the way back, doing historical stuff like Steve likes to bring up about Monsters, Inc. and Toy Story and all those kind of fun things. We have a podcast, a forum, a website, a gallery. It goes on and on.
Yeah, my apologies. I actually have it. I wanted to bring up your your website as we're sitting here talking.
Look at that.
Because it's crazy what you do. I mean, you really do have kind of an inside look at Pixar. I mean, you kind of have some unprecedented access a lot of times with the stuff that you discuss and the stories that you roll. Is that true?
Well, we do try to get as much of a jump as we can, of course. There's plenty of times where, like anything with the news, you want to be the first one, you want to be the fastest, but sometimes we take a little bit longer and report on it more accurately. So rather than just posting rumors, but you're talking about us getting a jump on things, you're almost setting us up perfectly that we're going to be going out next week to Pixar for a press event where we're going to be learning all about Inside Out for 2 days, doing a series of roundtables with Pete Docter, Jonas Rivera, Angelique Reich of the lighting team,
Ralph Eggleston.
The list goes on and on and on of all these amazing Pixar people.
You might want to pick up those names you just dropped.
Yeah. Wait, hang on, I got a couple more. But yeah, did you notice the Pete Docter one at the top of the list? Yeah, so Pete Docter.
You snuck that one in.
Right. Yeah. So we're very excited about that. We'll be going out to pick this week to get a little bit more of a jump. So of course, if you're looking for anything about Inside Out following that trip, be sure to stay tuned to PixarPost.com all week for the latest Pixar news, or at the Pixar Post.
Okay.
You know the best name drop they ever did? So this was way over a year and a half ago, but when they were over there and you guys met the director of MU, Dan Scanlon, right? And you guys were talking about how you made a book for him, The Dream Journal. Yes. And when I asked you to replay the story, you so casually just said, like, so we met up with Dan at this place, and I'm like, Dan, wait, oh my, he's on a first name basis with him now? I mean, it's one thing to be like, we met Dan Scanlon at the mall. You guys had completely just dropped the last name. Like, yeah, Dan really likes what we do, and I gave him this book, and I was like, what?
Well, he is from Michigan, which is where we're from, so he feels a little bit of a kinship, and we do too.
You and Dan, Danny boy.
I never called him that.
Oh, okay.
I did. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Look at TJ's face like this is not happening. She did not do that.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't be a crazy podcast of Disney Infinity TV if we weren't already totally off topic.
Yeah.
Yep, that's right. Sorry.
That's the way we like it, though. That's
Yep.
that's the way we do it around these parts.
Yeah.
Well, we're so happy to have you tonight. And yes, everyone definitely go check out pixarpost.com and follow Julie and TJ at the Pixar Post on Twitter to get all of their Pixar news. And I kind of wish we would have waited a couple weeks now so you could given us the inside scoop of Pixar, but I guess that just means we're going to have you back real soon. Not going
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
let a long delay happen.
Maybe we'll get some Inside Out Disney Infinity news. I don't know.
Well,
I'm not saying we know anything. Just
Come-
throwing it out there.
come on, 40s announcer. This is your inside scoop. You heard it here first.
Listen to the show. Subscribe now. Support the troops. Make sure that you're paying attention. As TJ and Julie surprise you again.
Oh, that's great.
I like how he has to look directly into the camera
Like
when he
he
does
gets
it.
close.
Because
Right.
I have to get intense. You can't do 40's voice when you're not just like nonchalant. You have to get into the zone.
That's great. It's all about the drama. Captain Disney in the chat is saying awesome Inside Out trailer 2 review that you guys
wow,
did.
Thank you.
So fan of the site. And now we have Logan. We can't forget Logan. Romulus in the chat just said
that you would forget me. But
not at all. He just said the show's half over before Logan gets introduced. Not quite.
Pretty much.
Logan, we haven't had you on the show in a while. You are part of the
That's
Disney
cool.
Infinity TV family. We're glad to have you back. I know you're really excited to get on this week's episode. So how are you doing?
Dude, I'm getting over the flu, so excuse all the coughing and stuff like that, but I'm doing great.
Well, we have a zero cough policy on the show, so the first
See y'all
cough
later.
and you're getting kicked. No, that's okay. You can cough twice.
You're allowed to, apparently.
Don't
You're
make
allowed
him
to.
laugh, because usually laughing stirs it up.
It's true.
I'm pretty
It's true.
good. I control people's breathing for a living. I'm a respiratory therapist. I think I can handle it.
Okay, good. Well, awesome. Well, I'm so excited to get this thing started. So yeah, with that, I mean, what's the big news as far as Pixar's concerned right now? I mean, you're going out to an event in just a couple weeks, so they have a new movie coming out. So I think we'd be remiss if we didn't discuss Disney Infinity as it could possibly relate to Inside Out. So with that, I'm going to pass it to the two of you first, Julie and TJ, and then you two can give us your thoughts on the possibility of a Disney Infinity.
Well, hang on, I'm going to set you up. I'm going to set you up.
She's
So-
gonna eat that microphone if you make her wait.
Right.
Anymore.
So just to set this up properly, Will did discuss with us earlier, say, hey, did you guys think about Inside Out as far as Disney Infinity? Just to preface it ahead of time, she's already been chomping at the bit with this. She's already come up with ideas. I was playing Disney Infinity this weekend.
Nice.
And as I was playing it, she was like, hey, what do you think about Inside Out? So go ahead and give your idea as far as what you want to see in the characters and all that fun stuff.
Okay, I have two ideas that I think could happen. I think there needs to be like a duo pack. Now, whether it have a playset piece included, I can give or take with that. It could be just like Stitch and Merida, where it's just the toy box thing. But the two characters that are going to be in the twin pack that I see in my head are going to be Joy and Bing Bong. Now, we don't know too much about Bing Bong. He's like a cotton candy hobo elephant, which you can see images of him on our site. But he's a very mysterious character, but we know he's going to have a main role. So I think Joy and Bing Bong with either a toy box chip, like toy box thing, or a playset. The second or the third character, who's going to be just in a separate like blister pack, is going to be Anger. Which out of the other 5 emotions, anger's the only one that I think that people could not relate to, but I think that people would have fun playing with, because I don't think people, like fans, are going to want to be like, oh, I want to play with fear or disgust or sadness, wah wah. Even though I think those are great characters, I don't think that those 3 characters would fit into the Disney Infinity as playable characters.
Okay.
So that's what I think.
So you already have your character. So I don't know if this is the image that you were referring to. It's from a Kellogg's jelly snack.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah,
Bing
Is
Bong.
yeah, some people have been posting stuff on our forum and stuff.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there's a few images of him out there, but it's Riley's imaginary friend, and he's a cotton candy elephant kind of
Like hobo
looking.
Colored, right? Or
Yeah,
something
he's
like that.
pinkish
Yeah.
and pinkish purplish.
glittery, kind of has like a raccoon tail.
Yeah, he's all funky, like an imaginary friend should be, right?
Yeah.
Steve has those. There's nothing wrong with that. That just means that you have your inner child still vibrant.
Yes, it is very much so.
So I'm gonna kind of throw it out to you guys too a little bit. So she's mentioning playset or toy box. I personally think, as much as I would love to see a playset, and I have an idea for a playset, I don't know that it would necessarily work in the Disney Infinity arena, because typically there's battles that go along with that, and I don't see Pixar allowing these characters. I don't see Joy punching people out.
Yeah, but Tinkerbell does.
That's a really good point.
It's true.
You know, no, not the
But
Tinkerbell
to
point.
Tinkerbell's defense, she does have a temper, and it's well documented.
Oh, well, there you
that's
go.
true.
Oh, thank you.
You know, from the trailers and everything that we've seen, they definitely look more sweet and nothing like it, except for, like you said, anger. But I don't see that at all. That's a good point. I wouldn't see that meshing very well. But, you know, in Cars, they don't really fight each other. There's no real battles. A lot of it's just sort of racing and, you know, a little intimidate. That's not true. They do shoot each
shoot
other
at
when
each
they're
other, yeah.
driving.
Yeah.
That's true. That's
That's
kinda
not
like,
fighting.
I forgot that was kind of from Mario Kart sort of stuff. But I actually kind of agree with your point.
Well, what about so MU was in the game, and there was
They scared instead of punched, you know.
That's
Right.
true. It was a lot more tame.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it would be like fear gives you missions, and you have to, like, you know, not. You'd have to try to make people scared or something, or not make them scared, or get them unscared, or whatever.
Yeah.
I've thought of this topic as well, and the one thing I think I would like to see is actually a Riley figure, like the main character, the girl. Simply because when I play, you know, with multiplayer with other people and stuff like that, I'm running around trying to build stuff, be creative or whatever, and all these kids or other people, my wife included, will come up behind me with a lightsaber and just destroy my character constantly. So I want the Riley figure just so I can hit the anger button and turn into the little anger dude and run around and punch people because I'm ticked off.
Well, see,
That's
there
what
you
I
go.
want. That's it. Just
So
a
yeah,
rage button.
we'll pulled up Riley there too.
Yep, there's Riley.
And I don't. Let's call that her intimidation right before she clicks on the anger button. All the,
Yeah.
Don't make Riley angry.
So
But
Oh,
you
go
do
ahead.
have to admit that world would look great, though, with all
It
the
would.
colors and the balls and the thing. I mean, that would
Yeah,
look
long-term memory, all
spectacular
the
to play
memories
in.
and stuff like that. Yeah.
Those colors are so vivid; they'd look great.
So here's my idea then. So because I still want a playset. Playsets are where it's at for me. I play the toy box, but obviously playsets are where it's at.
Yeah, me too.
And
Agreed.
I think that they could potentially switch it up, and instead of making it battle related, this is the first from beginning to end kind of mission and puzzle based playset.
I could see that.
I like that, but then I also have another theory.
Okay.
The Good Dinosaur is also released this year. It's in November. I
Right.
think that a playset would maybe go further with the dinosaur theme because there's more action with Spot and the dinosaurs. So I think a playset would be better there, and then Toy Box would be better for Inside Out.
Sure.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Not to mention, I would do anything to see your first four-legged character, you know, big like that in Infinity from Good Dinosaur. I think that'd be spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good idea.
good idea.
Romulus in the chat is saying this goes into the toy box side of things. What about a toy box game where you have to collect lost memories?
Oh,
That would be
heck
fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's
an
absolutely
easy one.
perfect, and that's the kind
That's
of things that should
practically
be.
the basis of the movie, right? They
Right.
want the memories and
Yeah,
and
getting
find
the
them.
5 core
mean-
memories.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's a great idea. So excellent.
Actually, you guys, that was my idea. I'm in the chat as Romulus tonight. I didn't, so that was actually my idea. You're welcome.
Oh, well, thanks for typing it in.
Yeah.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Jason. I have your lower third incorrect there. Let me fix that for you. So these are the memories, right? These are the
Those are
emotions.
Emotions, yes.
So and then I did find a picture of Bing Bong. That's Bing Bong, right?
There you go. Yeah.
That's brilliant. Um, so did we agree that every one of these emotions and Bing Bong as a character, or was it
No,
just
I think fear and sadness would obviously be mission givers because the blue one is sadness, the purple one is fear. Um, they're obviously too mopey and too afraid to do anything.
Right.
So I
Right.
wouldn't exactly see them. Disgust, I'm kind of on the fence with, but anger and joy, I definitely see as playable.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to bring anything up for Model Train Man that might be watching along here, but it's kind of like Rex kind of thing where he's not playable, but he's kind of like giving you missions and all those
Right,
kind of
right.
things. So I agree with that. That fear and sadness would definitely be the mission givers for sure.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good idea. It keeps it in context with the characters. So that leaves possible 3 emotions and then Riley. So have we had, well, and then Bing Bong. Bing Bong's we've decided is a must, right?
I think he is going to be a must if we're going to put him as in our imaginary world.
Yeah, my imaginary world, it's Joy and Bing Bong with the toy box disc.
Yeah.
And then the third character, Anger, in a separate blister pack.
Yeah, she wants like the toy box missions where it's like, like the one that came with Brave and Stitch and then the Ronin and
like the dungeon crawler kind of thing. I could see that.
Yeah, but it's not a dungeon crawler, it's a mind crawler.
Right.
Ooh. And it's as long as you don't craft that world for the mind, then you will stay out all legal trouble.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
So let's see. What else do we have in the in the chat other than Jason get offended that I called Steve Jason?
That's what he gets for being in there and being smart. How dare you?
So okay, well let's just play a little bit of devil's advocate. Romulus is bringing up a point. If it's toy box only, then the established pattern for at least 2.0, this is not the case for 1.0, was only having 2 figures. So if you had to choose only 2 figures that would include a Toy Box game disc, who would they be?
Joy and Bing Bong.
Joy and Bing Bong, hands down from the Pixar Post. Logan, do you agree, or do you want to throw Riley in there?
I'm partial because I'm a Lewis Black fan and I want Anger. So I mean, I think it's a toss up.
Anger would be fun with Anger would be fun with all the quips we get. What about you, Steve? Who do you think if you had to choose only 2?
Only 2. It would be. I echo what they said earlier. It would have to be Joy and Anger. Actually, you said the Bing Bong one, but I haven't even seen him really on the trailer, so I don't have a good opinion. I don't know what he walks around or looks like. But I think that Anger running around in the game with his bright red and all that stuff, and the way he kind of moves would be really great. And then Joy, obviously, because she's sort of the protagonist. I like it.
Well, from a character standpoint, he would be great too because if he gets angry, flames shoot out of his head.
Right.
So
it'd be a
that
spectacular
would be really cool.
special, to use.
I think he'd be a good predecessor to bring Hades into the game with the flaming hair and all.
Oh yeah.
I like it. I like it.
So hang on a second. I'm gonna throw this out there too. So, are we still? Because obviously we get so sucked into our little Pixar world.
Mm-hmm.
Are we still believing that Disney Infinity 3 is going to be Star Wars based?
I'm the Star Wars guy. I'm going to say please. Please. But I think it's going to be a mix again, honestly.
I do too.
But a mix again.
There's 2, like you said, there's 2 movies coming from Pixar, by the, in the launch window, I guess we could say. Disney is doing a lot of the live action stuff right now. There's some animation going on, but the big news is Frozen 2. I don't see them putting more Frozen figures out right now.
No.
So, unless they throw in some Cinderella characters or I don't know exactly when Beauty and the Beast is going to come out, but I think it would have to be older Disney characters, the Pixar characters, and then Star Wars, and maybe a couple more Marvel characters.
Well, so
I'm hoping there's no more Marvel characters. I'm about done with Marvel. At this point, I'm cashed out. If there's any more that come out, yeah, cat face. If there are any more Marvel characters, I actually could be kind of upset because I'm on Marvel overload here. There are characters that we're playing now that I had never heard of before, and I don't know how relevant they are to the world of, these sort of normal, I guess you could say normal viewership. So, like, I had never heard of what's the Fist guy? I've never heard of a
Iron
lot of these
Fist,
people. Iron
yeah.
Fist. So I hope that there's no more, because if that means they're going to do more, that means they're just going to be, getting the bottom of the barrel for more characters that I still have not heard of.
I mean,
So
the only reason I say maybe more Marvel is because they're expanding the cinematic universe, and it's all ties in commercially.
well,
So they're introducing Black Panther and eventually Captain Marvel and stuff like that. So I'm thinking eventually they may trickle into the game.
yeah, I agree with you there. But if that's the case, would they have done that before?
You
I
would
mean,
think.
they went with the more Disney XD, channel characters and the way that they look on there, not the way that they look in the films.
Except,
And if you're going to add Vision, or if you're going to add Black Panther or any of those other ones, wouldn't they look more like they do in the billion-dollar movies that we see
I
today?
totally agree, and I think the
Whoa,
only
take
thing
it down.
No, I was just
only
using
thing-
billion to show how much more money they earn the company, not the Disney Channel ones.
I totally agree with you saying, and I think the only thing from Disney XD fans wanted was what's the one cartoon we got power discs for, but no figures, and everybody was mad.
Gravity Falls.
Gravity Falls. And I think that's I think they missed the mark on that one, and I think
I
they
agree.
learned their lesson. So we'll see what happens.
So, but going back to the question though, which was if it's going to be something other than Disney related again for the main part, that means that there would be no other play sets outside of a Star Wars type play set.
I would disagree. I think they got
Okay.
enough backlash with Marvel that they would include something, and I think the cry for classic character movie playsets would have to be heard, and I think, like, personally for me, I would love to see an underwater functionality. That way we can get the Nemos and the Little Mermaids and stuff like that. Add maybe like a flying mechanism, but like swimming of some sort.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
I would love to get that sort of three-dimensional world mechanism as well, the flying or the underwater one, because I said it before, I think that a planes playset would be great, because I love the idea of a flying game. That sounds like a lot of fun, but then it's the same sort of dimension. If you had it Nemo or underwater, it's the same thing, up and down and controlling kind of that. I would really enjoy that in a more, I guess you say, usable instead of
The
just
only problem I have with planes is they would end up like cars. What else could they do besides
No,
fly?
100%. I'm using that as an example of sort
Sure,
of that
sure.
dimensional. I mean, we get to fly around all the time now, but a game where that's the whole thing, I don't know. I think that sounds kind of cool. But if you're gonna do a side thing, I think you're right. I think they got enough backlash from the fact that there was no classic ones and that there was a very limited amount of play sets.
Yeah.
If you're looking at the Star Wars world, I think that you could easily do. Let's go back to the first one, 1.0. You could easily do 3 different Star Wars worlds and then come out with more later. You've got Rebels, which is a really big deal now, and if you know
Love
the
that
story,
show.
so do I.
Yes.
And if you know, they're going to be making that a heavy,
Mhm.
heavy player in the Star Wars world in the next 3 years. Supposedly, the one that the first spinoff is going to be about one of the people on that show. So you have Rebels, which is also a Disney XD, sort of that design, and it's a growing in popularity. You have the older ones, the other episodes, and then you have the new one. You could do 3 different unique play sets with different characters and all this other stuff, and then still do play sets from Snow White or Ariel or Nemo or something like
You
that.
can ask Jason. I have been begging and begging for about a month now to do just a Star Wars, like what figures would make it into 3.0 episode. I literally have a list on my phone. I'm ready. I've been chomping at the bit to tackle this subject for a long time.
So,
Well-
yeah, once again, TJ, to direct it back to the question, I would hope that it's not as restricted as 2.0. I think that this was, I honestly see this as a major backstep. The fact that it was so limited to that world, I honestly, I can't believe that they did it like that, and I'm really hoping that they don't do it again.
So word on the street is that a big reason for that is that, how can I word
Marvel
this?
was very heavy-handed, right?
Right, and we've got no indication. Not to say that Star Wars wouldn't be the same or Lucasfilm wouldn't be the same, but fingers crossed the situation will be different. As everyone mentioned it, they kind of got scolded quite a bit by fans that we didn't get. I mean, Logan, you got into Marvel and you're a huge Star Wars guy, but wouldn't you still rather have half and half, where you have half Disney and half Star Wars?
Absolutely. Because I mean, at the end of the day, I'm a Disney guy.
Right.
As much as I love and grew up on Star Wars, this is still Disney Infinity, and I'd like to see more classic characters come into it first.
So,
but at the same time, I think Star Wars won't be like Marvel, because Star Wars is pretty good about making fun of themselves. I mean, they do
Right.
it.
Look at
They're very good
Robot.
about mashing up merchandise and other things like that.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised even if they would consider doing a Jedi Mickey or something like that for the game.
So TJ, to bring it back, like Steven was saying, so let's assume that we are going to get half and half play sets. We're going to get half Star Wars and then half Disney. What do we think? Is it going to be? So we have Inside Out coming out. The Good Dinosaurs in 2016.
No, it's November of this year.
November of this year.
Oh, wow. So we have 2 Pixar movies coming out this year.
Right.
So what do we think? 2 Pixar play sets?
Well, of course, we're going to want that.
I think Good Dinosaur is going to be a playset.
As the Disney guy, be like, they got him in 1.0. Give me the Disney playset.
Yeah, so I do feel a little guilt that 1.0 got so many of the Pixar playsets. Right. So I guess I feel that unless they're going to change it up a little bit and do like a puzzle-based playset, that I feel like Good Dinosaur is a better fit for the playset. Okay. And that Inside Out would be fantastic in the toy box, although I do want the toy box game disc.
Right.
So that way I can have a little more content than just playing the downloadable content. And other than that, yeah, I'm more than willing to finally give up some Rain and have some of the Disney play sets in there too, because I did crave them, and I really wanted a Lion King, and I really wanted a Aladdin play set.
You know, can I ask the question that we've been fighting over, especially because Jason loves to get the fight started about DLC? If there was an Inside Out playset and you can only get 2 characters, but the rest of them were DLC and you had to pay to download them, are you on the team where you would prefer to have the actual figures, TJ and Julie, or are you on the team where, hey, I'll take a download one, use the figures for something else? Where are you at on that?
We like the figures.
Okay.
I like the figures. Too. I would almost want to pay DLC for power discs. Like
I completely agree with that.
Keeping track of power discs. I have hundreds of them.
Yeah, and there's never really a good organizational structure to it. They never came out with one real official binder that had like the logos in there. It's always vague on which ones are rares and which ones aren't. I would way rather pay for that, like you just said. Give me an amount, and I would do that.
They wouldn't have distribution issues like the last 2 power discs that we just spoke about on the show.
Right.
But they could just flip a switch and everybody can buy them, and it'll be great. But yeah,
I agree
totally
with that one.
would prefer that.
All right, Will, where do you put yourself there then?
So I'm gonna default to you as being the Pixar experts, and that Good Dinosaur would make a better play set. And so, but the thing I love about Infinity is that we can have our cake and eat it too. Exactly what you said. We can get the figures from both movies. Only get 1 playset, which would free up 1 or 2 other spots for other Disney-related playsets, and I think it's kind of the best of all worlds. The only caveat I'd like to mention with that, though, is that with Infinity, I'm so afraid of another Frozen failure. A movie that just takes off. I mean, Frozen was definitely, I think, a little unexpected, but such a missed opportunity with not having a playset, and people are still requesting Wreck-It Ralph playsets, and so I'd hate for both Inside Out and Good Dinosaur if it doesn't have a playset, for us to be in that same boat. So that's the only thing that worries me a little bit with both not having a playset.
But if either of those movies are as good or as popular as Frozen, they'll get a second shot at it. Like Frozen 2's coming out, and I'm pretty sure they may make a Frozen 2 playset. If Disney Infinity's in its 3rd or 4th iteration by then. I think that bus will pass again.
I'm telling you, even if the next one was Star Wars, if they came out with an Olaf character next year, I would lay down anything that would be the top selling character of all time.
Yeah,
I'm not joking around. I really think that if it came out, it would outsell a Darth Vader character. I can't think of one person that plays the game that wouldn't do anything for an Olaf playable. That's a fact.
Well, I wouldn't say that I wouldn't do anything. But
oh no, I meant just to see the breakdown of how many actually bought it. I would love to play him, but I'm telling you, not one person I know would. I think they would be huge. I think he'd be the biggest character in the game.
Do we know what the top selling character is right now?
Oh, I used to.
Iron Fist.
Elsa, right?
Iron Fist. Hey, don't rag on Iron Fist. He's my favorite, and I was playing him tonight.
I'm just laughing because I didn't know who he was when we bought him. I'm like, yeah, that green guy with the yellow hat. Let's get that guy.
I didn't either, but I love him.
Yeah, he's actually a hugely popular character.
Yeah.
Chat room, if you remember who the highest grossing figure is, let us know. But who just said Elsa?
I'm pretty sure it's Elsa. I think I tweeted JV about this. He said he wouldn't give me specifics, but it was either Anna or Elsa is what he told me.
That's what I'm talking about. You got to think that they make so much money off of that.
I asked him that at the time when I was writing an article about female characters in the game. I was trying to prove a point that, you know, there's more need for chicks in the game.
Well, well, actually someone in the chat room mentioned how good Inside and Out would be for having such strong female characters and bring in more female characters to Disney Infinity. That's another good point about it. That doesn't matter if it's toy box characters or playset characters. Actually,
the interesting thing is we are talking about Disney, where 70% of their classic movies, the main person is a female. So while right now we got stuck, and I say stuck because I'm not a huge fan of the 2.0 Marvel, we got sort of roped into buying into characters that were almost 100% male. I mean, that's kind of what happens when you get a Marvel.
They missed the mark on that too. That was my article. Was like, there's so many great Marvel female characters. Like in the show where Iron Fist, you know, the Amazing Spider-Man, there's White Tiger, who is a female and is a great character. Could have totally flipped that for me. I would have taken White Tiger over Iron Fist any day.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you, but I'm just saying in general, Marvel's got a lot more male people. But the good thing is this is still a Disney game, and they own the rights to every Disney princess character going all the way back. And so while the game is lacking in that right now, I don't think it's over because the potential they have to unlock all of these other ones is massive. They have more than I think any other one. I mean, you have Star Wars. There aren't that many female protagonists in Star Wars, but just the idea that it's Disney, I can't think of another company or brand that has as many popular and mainstream female characters. So I think that they've got enough to dig from. So I think that they should start doing it.
Yeah, I can name 5 from Star Wars.
I knew that was coming.
Oh, come on. Hold on a second. This is the greatest part. All right, so from a Star Wars fan, I love this because you're talking to regular humans here, not people like Star Wars nuts. Give me the 5 really mainstream Star Wars ones. And my really good friend that I'm going to Star Wars Fan Fest with in a few weeks is listening to the show. So he's going to be laughing at me too. But you're talking to a regular human that doesn't watch them all the time. What would 5 female characters from the Star Wars world be?
Princess Leia, Padme Amidala.
You're already digging the bottom of the barrel right now. Look at you.
TJ, you had some.
Her name. She was in Clone Wars, and she was
I'm just counting along.
Episode of Rebels.
If you go through, if you go through Clone Wars and Rebels, then I can think of a bunch too. They did a much better job of that, but I'm talking the classic ones.
Well, no, that's canon. That counts. It's not. Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about.
I know.
I love it.
It's not fair.
I love that too. By the way, I just learned what canon the word meant like 6 months ago.
What did you read that word written down and you're like, this isn't a pirate movie, this is sci-fi.
This is canon. What does this mean? So then I Googled it and I'm like, I got it. All right.
That's amazing.
We won't be referencing it as canon for any Pixar movies.
Like, honestly, no.
There's no official Pixar canon? I don't get it.
For people in the chat who don't know what Star Wars canon is, because we're talking about it for so much, I have to say, it's like the official storyline of the Star Wars saga, starting from episode 1 through what will now be episode 9, I guess, including certain comic books and certain books and certain television shows. There were a bunch of comic books written by Dark Horse that are now eliminated from canon and that no longer count. So that's why I was thinking on certain names that were in those comics that I can't use.
But canon and mainstream's different. I just want to point that out too.
Right.
Ouch.
I just get some support from Will. This is the first time since 2012 that Will supports Steven. Everyone supports your Steve. He's here. I can crowbar in 40's voice. Thank you, Will, for the support.
You're welcome.
Mainstream is definitely different. You can't sell a humongous game on not popular characters.
Like Jar Jar Binks.
Oh my god. To a Star Wars guy, you just saw the face that he gave. He almost shut the mic off right
Yeah.
now. Did not just say Jar Jar Binks to me.
He might be throwing up.
I think he did. He's gonna. I just threw up on my mouth a little bit.
Yeah.
That's instead of name dropping, that was a mic drop from Julie.
So the other three were Ahsoka Tano, Hera. These are from Rebels now. Hera, and then Sabine were the other three that I could think of off the top of my head. Because Rebels has some great female characters.
They definitely do.
Yeah. I have no idea where to go with this. What else do you guys want to talk about?
I accidentally derailed into
I have a
really
question. I
scary
thought of this.
territory.
What other Pixar movies that have not been covered in Disney Infinity that you would want to see?
Yeah, say
I
you
think
get
I may have
two
put it
next
in the-
one, and
Okay.
you get to choose one of those, but you have to choose another one.
I think next year is when Disney Infinity will go underwater. I think with the release of Finding Dory is when we'll get a Finding Nemo / Dory playset.
I
I
agree.
think it'll be 2016.
You mean the
they
not
can introduce
3.0?
Ariel, like that has to be done. If you go underwater, you have to do the Little Mermaid. I'm sorry.
So when? Sorry.
She's saying 4.0.
Yeah,
4.0? You're
4.0.
talking skipping a year. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, because when's Finding Dory?
Next year.
2000
Next
June.
yeah,
summer?
2016.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be perfect timing. Announce the game in April and May. Release it in August, September, and that's going to be plenty of time for Finding Dory fever.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw another playset out, which I would love to see.
Ooh, I'm gonna guess it.
Go for it.
Wally.
No.
Son of a.
She thought I would say Wally, and I do think that it would be a fantastic one from the sense that you could theme it in space, which they already did Toy Story in space, but this could really be in space.
Right.
But I want to see the most underrated Pixar movie,
Oh, Bug's Life.
Bug's Life.
It's underrated for.
I thought you were gonna say Cars 2, so you
Cars
scared
2.
me for a moment.
Look at. I love TJ's face. He just about lost it. What?
No,
I really like Cars too.
I like
Well, you're
Cars
the
2.
one.
Really?
I like Cars 2 as well. It's fun, okay?
Not as much as Brave, but I really love Brave.
So okay, well,
I've heard.
you know what? We'll get back to Brave in a second with Disney Infinity. But as far as A Bug's Life, I think it works perfectly when it comes to the playset aspect because of the fact that you have built-in enemies, you have battles that happen, you have adventures that they go on. Everything lines up perfectly with creating a story that works ideally in the Disney Infinity world as it's set up today.
I like that answer. It's a good. I would have never thought of that, but yeah, totally.
Because nobody ever thinks of A Bug's Life. I mean, you have a thing where they build that bird and then they could be firing down on the bad guys. They have the gathering one as well where they have to gather all the seeds.
You have the grasshoppers as the enemies.
I just want Heimlich now. Now that you say this.
Oh my God! Give me your Heimlich. Heimlich is like my favorite Pixar character altogether.
Oh, check this out.
Oh gosh, here we go.
Every time we go to
Oh.
California Adventure, look at the biggest Heimlich I've ever seen in my life. That is amazing. That is awesome.
Man.
CJ just blew my mind with that. And that wasn't even an intentional setup. I didn't
That's
see it
great.
hiding behind him. That's amazing.
And now you kind of like, how did you not see it hiding behind him?
Yeah, look at him. Now that's all I can see is Heimlich in the background photobombing the show.
That's awesome. Bugs Life would also bring with it some very interesting toy box assets. Tons of cool things I could see as far as that environment and setting for the toy box.
So, that being said, Steve, why do you have a problem with A Bug's Life?
I don't really have a problem with it because I think that almost everything Pixar's done is pretty close to flawless. But if I have to rank them out and you take Cars 2 out of the mix because I just don't feel like it fits at all, Bug's Life would be my least or second to least favorite out of all of them. So, but that is seriously, just the Pixar world. If you add that up and add it with every other animated film, it's still better than almost everything else. So this is not a slap to Bug's Life, but in the realm of which other ones do I think are better, I think almost all of them are better. But
Well, now here's a fun thing about Bug's Life. I don't know what it is necessarily that people don't think about it as far as on the same level as the other films, but I guarantee if anybody puts it on and watches it from front to back, their respect level for it raises 100%. As soon as they walk away from the film, though, it gets forgotten for some reason. But during it, people love it.
Do you think it has anything to do with the fact that it came out within a couple years of a bunch of other bug CGI movies like Ants and what's that other one? Like, do you think that has anything to do with it? A little bit of that whole asteroid, everyone had a comet movie coming out. Like, I don't know what it is. Is it just not that compelling of a story? I think the characters are great. Hopper is one of my favorite villains of all time. And but you have a really good point. Maybe that's the reason why I don't personally love it. So...
Yeah, I don't think it's because other films were in the way at the time, because they were not really doing anything on the radar of the box office.
No, they were not. Although Patrick Warburton was in one of them, and that automatically earns points for me. But like, that's a good point. If I showed it to Lila, like I have today, she's never seen Ants or Bugs or whatever the other one. She wouldn't care, but she likes A Bug's Life. So that's an interesting point. I just don't know what it is.
But everybody loves Heimlich.
Dude, are you kidding me? If they had a Heimlich, if Heimlich was the Incredibles character, I think that he'd be the best character of the whole thing. You guys did that right?
Just looking at like the Pixar filmography, I'm trying to see where in the timeline, like if it was bookended by two major blockbusters and just got forgotten. But,
no, because it was Toy Story in '95, Bugs Life '98.
No, when Bugs Life came out.
Oh, when it came out, like if it got kind of hidden by other things. Oh.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's tough because it is a good movie. It's just like you said, nobody thinks of it.
But I think as far as the game goes, it provides a lot of, like Will even said, a ton of toy box assets. You've got the story built in. The characters would look really cool as figures.
Sure. And I think Steve hinted to a little bit talking about Hopper, and I was thinking about this at work today. Is I know Disney's known for their villains, right? Everybody loves Maleficent and Hades and Ursula and Jafar and all that stuff. What Pixar villain besides Syndrome, who's obviously already in the game, would you want to see?
That's an awesome question.
Oh man,
that's a good question.
Phew.
I think Hopper just jumped up my list.
Yeah, I would go. I'll give you guys a second because I'll just go ahead and say Hopper. I think he's great, and Kevin Spacey did such a good job at the voice and the way that he looks. And when you go to the theme parks and you go see It's Tough to Be a Bug, and he's that giant, intimidating bug, the grasshopper. I think he's spectacular looking. And he would be my favorite one. I think he'd be awesome in the game.
I think it's also kind of hard, too, with Pixar villains because, for instance, like Hades and Jafar, like, and all those that you're mentioning, we know that they're villains from the get-go.
Right.
Whereas in Pixar movies, a lot of times they're the secondary. You don't even know they're a villain until halfway through the movie.
Like a Lotso character.
Yeah, Lotso.
Oh, man,
right.
The Lotso would look cool running around. A fat stuffed bear.
With
That'd
the
be
cane.
awesome. That'd be great.
Yeah.
So that one's a little tougher for me. I mean, obviously, there's not a whole.
I have one, but he wasn't really a villain, but Bruce, the Great White Shark from Nemo.
Like when I saw the box, I'm like, oh wait, if we're doing underwater, I need Bruce. Like he'd totally be fun to fly around.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Plus, you'd have the built-in missions with like where they do all the landmines.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Darla. She's more of a villain than Bruce, though.
Yeah.
Wake up! I would like a Darla character.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So Will, do you have any thoughts on like a villain or anything?
Well, Blotzo was my pick. So, just because, like Steve C, I think he would look awesome as a character. I do want to say though that. Can I mention a Pixar movie that I would love to see included as a playset?
It's your show.
I would.
I think the board approves, Will. You can voice your opinion.
Okay. So I know I've said it before, but I just think a Planes playset would be amazing. And I'm only kidding. I know it's Disney Interactive. I mean,
Will just dropped it right there. It's the greatest thing of all time because Pixar people hate that.
I know.
He just left the show. It's okay though. Just bring Heimlich
For
in his
everyone
chair.
who's not in the know, that is a Disney Toon movie. It is not a Pixar.
Oh,
Disney
I love
animation.
Disney Toon, not Disney animation.
It's not. Oh, forgive me.
Correct.
Just,
it's the same studio who makes the Tinkerbell movies and all of like the Little Mermaid Part 2s and all that stuff.
Will, that hurts my heart.
Did that hurt you?
It really does. Look at you.
Well,
He's squirming over there now.
That was a good one, though.
That was good. She shocked me.
I just had to say the punchline before you guys corrected me because then you would have never believed me that I was joking. I think I would love a Ratatouille, and I would love not only the rats but also the humans as well because they're so caricaturized as is, and I'd also just love all the Paris settings. So
You're stressing out Logan. I can see it in his face.
Well, like Steve said about Bugs Life, Ratatouille's on the bottom of my Pixar list.
really, it's not
Yeah.
on mine.
Oh,
It's-
no
it's-
way. Yeah.
I'm
That's
sorry.
like-
I'm sorry. I have to. I just did not get it. I've watched it multiple times. I own it. It's not for me.
Yeah, it's easily in the top 3 for me. I love
Yep, me too.
Yeah.
And I'm the food guy. You think I love I mean, no.
It's not in my top 3, but it's
It's up there.
It's like top 8.
Well, plus you could top 8.
That's the greatest thing. And you know,
Who says
this is the
that?
best thing with these
Let's-
two
all right,
is no
let's
one,
look at
they
the one
can't
thing,
say
like,
a single
let's look at
negative
the
thing
one
about a
that
Pixar film. She just said it's in her top 8. I love you guys for that same thing. You're so hardcore. It's awesome.
AKA, it's not in my bottom 3.
Right. Yeah. So there you go. But if you do Ratatouille, you get a built-in villain with Chef Skinner.
Mm.
Right.
It's
Yep.
fantastic.
And
If you had a Ratatouille character, would the rat characters be small or would they be like medium size?
Well, if you're getting the villain of the chef, they'd have to be small.
Yeah,
I
they'd
would-
be awesome.
No, I would love to see it because it would remind me of like playing Mario as a kid, where you're in the world where it's giant, and you're like, yes, I'm in the giant world.
that would
Like
be
I
awesome.
I want Ratatouille just because it would be a giant kitchen.
You know what? Never mind, TJ. You just blew every thought I've had about a Pixar one. My number 1 would be a Ratatouille one. If everything was large, imagine the different things you'd have to do. Go picking up things, putting things together. That, to me, is a puzzle game right there you could do. Getting the right ingredients, finding stuff like that, escaping and all that stuff. I love the idea of being in a giant world. That is my number 1 pick right now. You just blew my mind. That's awesome.
Didn't someone
couldn't
already
you-
make that like as a toy box?
No,
like a rat-
I don't think so. I don't. Well, personally, you could do that, but I would rather see it as a full-on.
Sure.
Mostly just because of how cool it is to think about being small in a big world. That sounds kind of cool to me.
Couldn't you do that with the Bugs Life though? When they're in that like garbage
Yeah,
city?
you know. Yeah, but Bugs Life is not.
Logan
on my top
agrees
8.
with me.
Yeah, but you
I
don't really get
I
into
think
like.
for a children's game, the colors and everything of Bugs Life would be more appealing than Ratatouille.
I
Oh,
do
for-
agree. I do agree with
Yeah.
you from that standpoint, but
for sure.
from like the giant world thing, you don't get the human scale of it
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
Bugs
that's
Life
true.
because it's set all in their world. You do get obviously that it's a huge world, but
Yeah.
you don't interact
You're
with
not
humans.
set in
Mhm.
like a kitchen.
Right.
Well, unless you get stuck to the bottom of someone's shoe with gum. Anyway,
It's a very
moving on.
specific example.
Yeah.
Maybe the most specific example we've had on the show yet.
Yeah.
All right,
Uh,
so go ahead. Will,
I-
sorry.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
just gonna say Tesla Blitz in the chat is saying that they want an Inside Out playset and Ratatouille Skydome and terrain. So
That
there's
would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's some good cake and eat it too
I
action
can
right
live with
there.
that, Yep. But
You
no,
can
my
kinda tell-
top Pixar movie is Up. I'm sorry. Like,
Oh, yeah.
that's my
You don't have to
number one.
apologize for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm sorry that I love one of the
a
greatest
Carl
films of all time.
Fredricksen, 'cause I don't like just having Carl's Kane. I want him. I want Russell. I want Doug. You know,
Doug
So
would
many
be
characters.
awesome to play with.
yes, so many characters.
Kevin would be a mission giver.
Yes. Squawk, squawk, squawk. Right, exactly. What do we have to do? He said squawk. I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay, so I want to know. We had Brave. Well, we had Merida,
Merida.
and we had like the Brave toy box game disc. I want to know what the panel's thoughts were on the character of Merida, which is we've kind of touched on a little bit when we were on last time. But I want to know, did anybody else play that toy box game disc, and what were your thoughts on it?
I'll go first.
Fantastic.
I have, this is how excited I was about Merida, and I've said this before on every show that I do. Julie, I have mentioned your breakdown of Brave on the Mousecast about 5 different times. Every time I'm on the show, I do it. The way that you describe the way that a Brave playset should be is exactly the way that it should have been. But with what we have, Merida is my favorite looking character out of all of them standing up on my thing. The colors are beautiful. They're vivid. They pop. The actual putting the wisps on the bottom is just brilliant. It's by far my favorite looking physical character. Until and playable she was as well until I got Tinkerbell, and Tinkerbell I was smitten. She's just so great in the game. The what do you call that? The dungeon crawler style game where it just kind of goes. Those are fun because you are in that world and everything like that. But I don't know, man. That got really old to me really quickly. When you have to keep going and nothing really changes into the same thing, I feel like Brave was snubbed. And it could be because of the way you described it, Julie, and how great it could have been because of the great characters and all that stuff. But I love the playable character. She looks spectacular on our shelf. I think that the gameplay is severely lacking. It's really, really lacking.
All right, Logan, what were your thoughts?
I concur.
So,
I agree.
Does that imply?
Honestly, she's probably the best looking figure I have, in my opinion. The in-game toy box disc thing, I understand what they were trying to do, but I think, like I've said, missed the mark a ton of times already on the show, but they missed the mark. I think 2.0 overall for me missed the mark on a lot of levels. And the in-game disc, I know they were trying to give us content, but there was really no content. It was, there was no meat and potatoes. It was ice, all icing, no cake.
It was iceberg lettuce.
Yes, pretty much.
Without the dressing.
Yeah.
Man, I was so excited to put the discs down because before I had done one, I was pumped. I'm like, this is gonna be awesome. Then you put it down, and I'm like, this is kind of a turd. There's really nothing here. It's just such a, I was like, this could have been so much better. So that's mostly my opinion on it, is that it just missed. Well, there was nothing really to it. It was a really intense build-up sky, and then the rest of it was something that Pirate Steve could have built in an afternoon. And to me, I don't feel like it's something that was as worthy
with better block art.
As a character. Oh, absolutely. And more sarcasm. It just bugs me. I didn't like it. I don't like those discs. I think that was a big miss.
Especially with how much they promoted it and saying like, "Oh, you're only getting these play sets, but these game discs, they have hours upon hours of fun." And I'm like, what I got wasn't fun. Maybe for first 15 minutes.
Well, you just nailed it. Maybe half the reason I didn't like them was because of the marketing. Like, yeah, there's not play sets, but you get these. These discs are great. I'm like, okay, cool. Then you're like, oh wow, what a letdown.
I literally was like hanging on to like every shred after like the play sets were done with Marvel. I'm like, but I get more content. And then I put the disc down, and it really, like, I kind of was expecting it to be like the Avengers and like the Assault on Asgard and all those. It's literally the same thing.
It's identical. Absolutely identical.
That's the one thing that disappointed me more than anything, is it was a total rehash of what I had already played.
Right.
Yeah, Stitch and Asgard are the same thing, except one is Hawaiian-y and then the other one is more Asgardy-y and whatever. But I mean,
Asgardian.
Yeah, what he said. So I completely agree. They did nothing original to it. You have two different versions to play. It depends on which one you want to do. Do you want to do Thor style or do you want to do it Stitch style?
Right.
So.
Yeah, well, if I would have known better, I wouldn't have played the Avengers ones, and I would have waited for the Disney ones and then only had to play it once, but at least with a more interesting setting for me personally.
Yeah, with Julie, she literally, like, we get the discs, we get them out, she's like, all right, let's get into this, and then, like, 10 minutes later, she's, like, upstairs watching TV. Like,
I was really disappointed. Anybody who follows our site, or I've told you guys, Brave is tied for top 3. It's like, I love Brave, and I was really excited. And then when I put that disc on, I was like, what the? I was like, wah, wah. I mean, I think it is because, like you said, Steve, I was like so hyped up about like and passionate about talking about like how I envisioned it. So what a letdown.
So I guess, our thing that we were excited about with the Brave one was we were thinking about, the rolling hills and, the battles that you could have and all those kind of things.
Yeah, I wanted freaking logs to jump over. It was like,
you got log bears to fight, okay?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, good job, Logan.
I can't be that disappointed. They animated the logs, okay?
But like, I think if it comes down to the future again, if we're talking about the Good Dinosaur, that's another opportunity to have rolling hills, waterfalls, battles between dinosaurs, fights for survival, all these types of things that, are going to be happening in the film. And that's another one that I want. I want that sprawling. Like I really wanted the Lion King one. I don't want just the. As soon as I put down like the ground texture in the Sky Dome for Lion King, I'm like, I want to play a Lion King playset.
Yeah, well, yeah. You know, we were talking earlier about which one we would like to have, and I skipped over the one that I think would be the most interesting to play. And I know that you guys are going to agree because you talked about it at a ridiculous amount on your show and stuff. I think that Toy Story That Time Forgot would be one of the best playable discs because of the wide range of characters that you have that look so completely different. Yet you've got the recognizable, you know, Buzz and Woody and all this other stuff that are great. Not to mention the lighting in the skies do look different, and there is a fighting aspect. I think that would have made a way better single play set, something like that. I think is great. I think it's such an underrated thing that people, when you talk about Pixar stuff, don't bring up that one. And I watched that cracking up. I thought it was brilliant. I watched it 19 times, like you guys told us to make sure we pay attention to the lighting changes. And I think it's great. I think it would be a really good one. I would love to see all those dinosaur characters as some sort of an enemy drop down. Yet we don't have anything. I don't know. It's just because people don't pay attention to the shorts that show up on TV, but if you're going to put down villains or something like that, if we're not going to get a character from it, I would love to be able to put those dinosaurs down as bad guys because they are fun. They were cool to look at.
Oh, yeah.
And they were toys. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess Toy Story is too, but different types of toys.
Do you guys consider, you know, everyone talks about classic Disney, right, Logan? You've brought it up about 50 times. If you're talking bringing up classic stuff like everybody says, do you consider older Pixar stuff classic? Because I don't know how many, like, do
like
you?
Like the shorts? Or like A Bug's Life or Toy Story.
I mean, there's
like
only
two
animated movies that were ever nominated for Best Picture: Beauty and the Beast and Up. I mean, they're classics. So yeah.
I think
I don't.
Okay, hang on a second. I absolutely qualify Toy Story because it's already it's past it's this year. It's its 20-year anniversary. They're doing a big celebration for it, so they're going to be doing stuff throughout the year for it. They're re-releasing a series of toys that are all based on the 20th anniversary.
Are you actually going to get the RC car this time?
I have it.
We bought it.
I have it. Don't worry.
But I mean the re-release version. You're not going to say I'll pick it up next time and then never get it?
No, that was her that did that.
I know.
Oh, well, you know what I mean. Listen to the show if you want to know the inside reference I just made.
Yeah, so I think that, yeah, absolutely, it qualifies as a classic. I think it does take, and for me, it's not whether it's good or anything like that. For me, it's just time. And once it reaches a certain time, it's almost like, you know, when you can label something historic or something is like on a car or something. It's based on years more so than quality.
And Julie, you disagree? You think yes?
I agree. I think Toy Story is the only Pixar film that should be considered a classic at this point.
Okay.
But if we're, all right, let's compare it to Cars since we've like actual physical. They're in Michigan. They can talk cars.
Yeah.
If you're gonna compare it to, you know, automobiles, I think when you look at a car, you'll know if it's a classic or not right off the bat. Like if it'll become classic. And I feel the same way with movies. So like Up, as soon as I saw Up, I was like, this is good. This is a classic.
It's gonna stand the test of time.
Exactly.
You knew it was going to be a classic, but just knowing it makes it a classic, does it mean it's a classic now, or does it have to wait a period of time?
But let me tell you something that's going to
It's
blow
not the
your
Hall
mind.
of Fame we're inducting movies into here. I mean,
Up is one of my least favorite Pixar
personal
films.
preference. I mean,
Yeah.
It's not in her top 12.
Right. It's in the bottom 3. I mean, but I don't know. It's just, I would say, it all depends on the movie. I mean, we all agree Bug's Life is not a classic, but no, I'm joking. I don't know. Like, some people automatically include The Princess and the Frog as a classic, and it's
because it was
fairly
hand drawn.
recent.
It felt more like that. I agree, but that feels more classic-y. That was kind of my question. Everyone begs for more classic Disney, and I'm like, some of these Pixar ones I see as classic. You know, I don't necessarily see all these older hand-drawn ones. I love Snow White. I think she's fantastic, and she's the definition of classic. But I don't necessarily think that would be the greatest playable set. And people keep on begging for more classic stuff. I'm like, what do you want, Atlantis? I mean, yeah, that's older, but that would be an awful thing. So people begging for classic.
Don't tell them that. Lim for Atlantis.
I agree, and I will fight anybody about that.
Whoa,
There's better franchises to use.
I think a lot of times, not to comment on the classic argument, but I think a lot of times people are using the term classic instead of nostalgia. I think a lot of times what is classic to someone is a movie that is nostalgic for them, especially for people like our age. Lion King's a classic because we grew up with it at a particular age, or even Toy Story for me falls in that kind of time frame. So I don't know. Maybe that's why when people
Toy Story 3 in there too. Like I think Toy Story 3 for me is going to stand the test of time.
Yeah, but again, like TJ said, does that make it a classic just because you know it will be a classic?
Well, if I know it is, it is.
Hey, I'm not. I'm not going to argue with you on that. I mean,
that face. Did you see the confidence behind that statement?
Yeah. If I know it is. Shut up.
He just convinced me. I'm going to agree with him now.
I literally pulled that out of my mom's pocketbook and just threw it on the table right there.
So, well, everyone, we're kind of coming up to an hour now, so I think we need to kind of start wrapping things up. I don't want to cut the conversation off completely, though, so if there are some kind of last minute things that we want to discuss that didn't get to on the show, now's your opportunity to speak up. Do you have anything else that you'd like to talk about?
Come see us at 23 in August.
Oh yeah, we'll be there.
Yeah.
TJ and Julie, are you two going?
One of us is trying to.
Ooh, okay, so
Let him.
And it's me.
Yeah.
There's no way it's him.
If somebody goes, it would be her. It's just a matter of time and finances. So
Yeah.
So Steve, pony it up.
I'll wire it over to you guys, as well as your VIP tickets.
Thank you. Did you buy us a sorcerer package?
I tried. No, I'm joking. But no, Will and I booked our trips, our hotel and flights and tickets and stuff this week. So I'm pretty.
So it's Steve C.
Absolutely loved it. Yeah, Steve.
As did I.
Oh, awesome.
So we'll be working on a meetup, and we'll have to talk to the Pixar Post about that too. I think that could be a good time.
That could be a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Hey, you didn't mention it early in the Will show. Tomorrow is Loki and Falcon, right?
Correct. And the show I did before this one, I did mention that.
Okay. Is there a good location that you recommend picking them up?
So there's lots of great sales, and pretty much any retailer you go to, you're going to be able to find a good sale. Target, Amazon, Best Buy are going to be my three tops.
Yeah, they're all doing essentially buy two get one free,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Well,
buy
that's
two get a character free, or buy two get the discs free.
Discs are only at GameStop, and GameStop actually overcharges for a lot of Disney Infinity figures and discs. So throwing that out there.
Target has buy two get one free, and then Amazon, Best Buy have all figures for $10, including the brand new ones.
I like how they saved the buy two get one free for the last two characters, because I own every other character there is. I don't need another one.
They have them all on the shelf. They're trying to get them off. That's
Hello, marketing.
Yeah.
Right. I'm glad I waited
pick
on.
up another Randall.
Have you done a custom yet?
That's a good thought. That's what I was thinking, is grabbing a Hulk and doing a custom or something like that.
Yeah, pull a little Evilos.
Yeah.
Sponsored by Evil Lost Customs. Support our friends at DisneyInfinity.tv.
And buy bail bonds.
Okay,
Or war
Steve,
bonds.
I am going to do a little. I'm going to do a little shout. I'm going to do a little shout out to you tomorrow. We're recording a podcast, and I'm going to do a 40s voice, and that's going to be a hidden reference for you.
Yes, and guess what? I'll be laughing the entire time. You know what? There's no way your 40s voice is better than mine. Support the Pixar Post, listen to the show, and then laugh about how they lack from my 40s voice.
Then Stephen C says, "That's not 40s, that's British."
Yeah, he called me on the beginning. It was a hint. I wasn't really doing it.
Yeah, I mean, you're like, hey, cheerio, come visit me over my 40s voice.
I did not say cheerio, TJ. Get off of this show. I did not say that. You're taking my voice out of context.
I'm a fancy boy. Visit me, Steve C.
Oh my God, you said I was a fancy boy. Will, how do I get out of the show?
All right.
Steve on in my place next time.
TJ, Julie, do you have anything last minute you want to mention?
No, I think we kind of covered it. I think our argument has been made. We want an Inside Out, and we're going to be greedy, and we want a Good Dinosaur playset because we feel like the look and the scenery and everything is there. So they're listening. They can produce this stuff.
Right. I mean, it's not too late. It
Right,
should be
yes.
down the pike already.
Right.
All right. Well, anything that you want to plug on the site? So you're going to Pixar in a couple weeks. I'm sure you're gonna have a ton of news stories after that. Anything? You posted something new today.
Yes. Pete Docter is the voice of the dad's anger. Do do do.
So yeah,
That's a little Easter egg.
if you've seen the trailer, he's the guy that says, "Uh-oh, what, do we leave the toilet seat
Yeah.
up?" Like, he's that guy. What is it, woman? What?
So now the big question that I have is after next week, TJ, do you just start calling him Pete?
Yeah, maybe. We'll
So,
see.
you know, Pete and I were chilling this weekend
So,
talking about all
I
of
would
his other
say,
stuff.
I would say
Yeah.
that he is a classic director.
Oh, look at him. CJ brings it around full circle.
So that will leave one more question. Is there a question you would like to ask of Pete Docter about this movie?
Wow.
Oh, yeah, because it's next week.
It's next week. You can feel free to let us know. So think about it. Think
I'll
about it.
tweet you at the Pixar Post. How about that?
There you go. That'll work. So yeah, if any questions
That's
come
awesome.
up, let us know. But yeah, we're going to be chatting with the classic Pete Docter.
That's great.
Come in next week. We'll be talking to Pete Docter.
Oh my, Steve, did you hear the
No,
bass in his
you're fine.
voice?
That's it.
And
I did, and I don't like it. This is not.
Oh yeah.
This is ridiculous. I'm offended.
Oh
This
my
is still my
gosh.
shtick. I can only do one voice, and it happens to be Forty's voice.
What is 40s?
Forty's. You know,
Will,
Yes,
you
I'm
better
gonna
hit
do
the show
the
before it gets out of hand.
Oh,
come on.
Steve C, what have you been working on lately? I know you've been doing a lot over there at Media Meltdown.
I've been fighting with TJ, apparently. No, I have been doing a lot at the Media Meltdown podcast and the Media Meltdown Mousecast, which is more of the show that would be lined up to our group, and it's the one that you show up on all the time. And I was asking if you could show up this weekend, but someone's not available, right, Will?
Can't do it. Celebrating my 1-year anniversary with my wife, so she takes precedence over Steve
Congrats,
C.
you're still alive.
Aw.
Yeah,
Do you
thank
see-
you.
I didn't do that for selfish reasons. I served that up so that you can get the TJ Julie applause. You're
Well,
welcome for that.
I appreciate that. That alone was worth doing tonight's show.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So-
Logan. Oh, sorry, who did I just cut off? I
I
didn't
was
see who
laughing,
was
you know.
talking.
It was me, and at the beginning of the show, TJ and Julie said something funny. You said that you like to keep your stories a little bit later to make sure that everything's factual. Go to the Media Meltdown Mousecast, where we say stuff right when it happens, and then we get attacked for it like a day later for being inaccurate. But that doesn't mean that we're not entertaining and fun, and we're right most of the time. So if you want to come over, I know Boondoggle Man, Justin, we hung out and had a good time. He just won money from listening to our thing, and you guys should come over and listen to it. We're inaccurate.
You guys
most
give
of the
away
time.
money?
Yeah, $10 gift card. I saw it.
Oh,
Yeah, we did. You missed out. You guys didn't follow us till way later, so I'm sorry you missed the cutoff.
It's because there was like a time, like you joined Instagram and stuff, like where we weren't on it for like 2 weeks, and I was like, oh no.
Oh my
Sorry.
God, Julie, you're such a good liar. You just made it sound like you actually felt
No,
bad.
I did.
follow us.
I did. I
No,
was
you
like,
didn't. There is
yes,
no
I
way that you
did.
felt bad about that. Look at TJ's face right now. He's got the Heimlich face. It's just straight. He's like, I'm not going to say anything because she's lying through her teeth to
No,
make
I'm
you feel good.
not.
Steve.
No, I'm not.
I'm just thinking about doing the 40s voice for Fancy Boy.
Stop it. You just lied, Bill. Mute him. Don't let him do it again.
Oh, I gotta admit, Steve, after listening to a 20-minute argument about Ellen DeGeneres being a classic comedian, that was when I texted you. I'm like, you got to get me back on the show because there's so many things I just want to pipe up on and end this stupid argument.
Just listen to that one show and tell me you don't want to put your fist through a window. I'm just telling you, it's fun to listen to.
It was great.
TJ and Julie should just do that one so you can see what we're talking about.
It was amazing. It really was extremely entertaining. So everyone should go and check out the Media Meltdown podcast. Logan, my friend, thank you for coming on the show. Do you have anything to plug other than D23?
No, not really.
Star Wars soon.
I've been pretty well. Yeah, dude. I'm plugging Jason right now for doing a Star Wars podcast, Star Wars Disney Infinity podcast. I've been really busy, man. Life's just taken over for a little bit, and I'm ready to get back into it and see what's in 3.0, man.
Awesome. Well, we're glad to have you on tonight's show. Thank you for joining us. And
Anytime.
TJ, Julie, thank you both. It was a pleasure once again. So jealous of your upcoming trip, and yeah, we're gonna have to have you on again so you can tell us all the inside secrets. Someone in the chat did want you to ask if he'd ever considered going and getting his doctorate. So,
doctor.
yeah. Oh.
I'm not going to get kicked out of Pixar.
There's a stupid question criteria that you cannot.
Right. No, but in all seriousness, thank you for joining tonight's show. And everyone, please go check out pixarpost.com and follow TJ and Julie at the Pixar Post.
Thanks
If
for
you
the
guys
invite.
don't, just hold on. I said this last time, but we have a lot of new listeners. And I not just like to hear myself talk. This is because I like these two. The very first podcast I ever listened to in my life was the Pixar Post. And I subscribe. I listen to every single one that comes on. I talk about them frequently. They are, outside of Media Meltdown Mousecast, I'm just joking. They are one of the best podcasts ever. You guys got me sucked into it, which led me to meeting Will and all this other nonsense. So thank you very much. You guys are one of the best out there. You guys do a really great show.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much.
See, I can be serious once in a while. Come
You
on.
can. I keep waiting for the punchline. I'm like, something's gonna happen. Someone's getting a pie in the face. But
I just wish it wasn't 40's voice.
oh, Julie busted it out.
Take this from me. Both of you are gonna make me look awful.
Oh,
Make me look awful. Like I haven't done that for an hour and 15 minutes. Yeah, that's right.
Steve C, my friend, thank you so much for joining tonight's show.
Thanks.
This has been a fun one. We always love having you back, and it's kind of a prerequisite whenever Julie and TJ are on. You must be on the show. So
And I think that they're texting you the whole time, like, why does this always happen?
Yeah.
Is it his time? Jeez, there's other guys you have on the show. Let's have Jason. He has a way better voice. His
Oh.
Look at Julie just like.
And you know she has a thing for Jason.
That is well established. Yes.
So
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, why has he never been on the show when Julie's been on?
I think that he's doing us all a favor.
Hey, Jason's wife has paid me off and basically forbid that.
Oh, goodness.
No, I'm just kidding.
I
Just
get it.
kidding.
I get it. I mean, he is halfway around the world, though. I'm not too threatened.
That's true.
I don't
Oh.
listen to the show for that same reason. I'd be careful.
Plus, does he have a killer 40s voice?
That's it. I'm done.
Romulus is saying we have enough voices for a whole radio broadcast now.
Do it.
Oh, well, listen, everyone in the chat, thank you for sticking around and joining this Pixar conversation. Steve, did you just do it on purpose?
Is that the left shark?
Notice that the little emoticon thing that you can do looks just like Bruce, but no one ever claims it's.
I've never seen this before in my entire life. I have no idea what you're doing. That's amazing. It's moving.
Yeah, it's supposed to be him.
Why isn't the mouth moving?
moved.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little
That's-
lacking there.
Okay. All right. This show is getting off the rails. Thanks everyone in the chat who joined and watched us live. Appreciate it. If you like what we do, please subscribe and go check out all of our friends' podcasts and websites. It's great content. You know what? Normally I leave it on an infinite possibilities quote, but I think this week we're going to leave it on. If you are free for the next week. Oh, TJ, you have something?
I have one more.
Oh, okay.
I have one more. I don't know if the portion of your website is utilized enough. The disc catalog, where people can catalog their discs and their characters. I have to plug it because I love it.
well, we appreciate that. The one kind of has our trading system, and you can compare your collection with others.
I have actually made several trades because of your site.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, so to get to what TJ's referring to, just head to DisneyInfinity.tv and then just go to the apps section, and there you can not only look at all of the Power Disc and figures that are out there, but also add them to your collection so you can see who has what in trades. So that's awesome. I'm glad you made some trades from that.
Absolutely.
If you guys look at mine, you'll see I have 19 extra of those fish, the fish weapon. Oh my god, I can't hand those things out at Disneyland. People laugh at me like, dude, I have 12 of my own.
That's funny.
We have like 10 Stitch blasters, so.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. It just happens like that. I'm sick of the fish.
So
Don't
I
look at my-
didn't want to totally derail everything again, but I just needed to make sure, because you gave us so many kudos, that not only do I come to Disney Infinity TV for all of my Disney Infinity news, but frankly, I love the site, and I'm looking for more of those Logan posts.
Oh,
There you go,
see,
Logan.
they
You're getting called
retired
out.
me, and now they're trying to pull me out of retirement. That's awesome.
Hey, I never said I was tired of you.
No. They put I stopped doing the blog post because we weren't getting a lot of traction and stuff. But yeah, I enjoyed writing.
There's only one way to get traction, and that's to keep working.
Hey, I'm the employee here.
What was that? That
No.
reminded me of the end of Reading Rainbow. Like, what did you just do?
The more you know.
Yeah, you guys did like a bit of wisdom at the end. What happened to the show? It used to be about nonsense. Now he's throwing in integrity. Will, stop putting him in this show.
No, this is great.
Too
Actually,
smart now.
already getting amazing feedback from the chat. Everyone's loving tonight's show, so this is great. Well, thank you for that plug. Yeah, everyone should check out the site and yeah, check out the app section. Jason's even making improvements because that's what Jason does. He even typed in the chat, "Wait till you see the updated one." So it's still useful.
When's it coming?
Yeah, Jason, when's it coming? I keep asking him the same thing, and he's like, "No, I'm just kidding." Hey, Matt88 also likes your post,
podcast,
Logan.
That's for sure.
I missed that. What?
Said it's going to come after we do the Star Wars podcast.
Yes,
I'm on
and
the top of that list.
Matt in the chat misses your post too, Logan.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate
So,
that.
all right. Well,
Miss my posts? No one misses my posts.
no, they just miss your radio voice. And on that bombshell, I think we're gonna call it a night. Thank you all for joining the show. Normally, I say, you know what, we're all going to be doing a Toy Box playthrough over the next week until next week's show. But instead of that, the panelists, excluding Steve C, are going to be joining Steve C's seminar on how to conduct a British 40s voice. So I hate you so much.
Wait a minute, hold on a second.
You missed it.
British, he took it out of context.
You missed it. And
British
it's
fancy boy.
a British fancy boy dressed up as a cat. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this week. And until next time, we hope your week's filled with infinite possibilities.